Hello, and welcome back to another stream. Today, I am building the Cole's Titan Dragon Mech from Dragons Rising. Um, should be a fun and exciting build. Looks like a nice one. Also a pretty large one as well. But yeah, that's that. And yeah, starting off with the one minifigure of the set, the mech suit Cole, which looks kind of nice. A very interesting look for Cole, utilizing white instead of the usual black with the orange, which definitely gives him a very interesting look for this one. And just that one minifigure in the set, which I guess is fine for probably the size of the build and overall look of it. Seems like probably the body of the mech is sort of the first part of it that you construct. Not too many stickers in the set. There's seven different stickers, and then a couple of them look to be or are repeated a few times. So closer to, I guess, probably 11, I think, is the number of them. But I guess not all that many for the size of the build. But quite a few bags, 11 uh, bags, and but yeah, most of them look like pretty small bags. Um, just a whole bunch of plates to start the build. From the back of the box, it's 45 centimeters tall, so um, I think it's gonna be a pretty big one. Which yeah, I'd really like to look at this one. I haven't really looked at much into this set since it came out. I think it's retired now. But yeah, um, had this one, meaning to build it for a little bit, and now got the opportunity to do so. A whole bunch of plates to start off the build. I really like the color scheme of this mech. Probably, well, most any sets themed around coal tend to be some of my favorites, with them being my favorite character of the show. So um, always excited to build build sets. Uh, all right. Let me see. I definitely okay. There we go. Gonna need to go back and fix one thing up. Off to a good start. A few pieces in and already messing it up. All right. That was a relatively simple fix. Getting some sloped elements into it. Now, should probably not miss other elements, wouldn't be the best idea. A little bit of, there's actually, I think, a decent amount of pearl gold throughout the build. There's this, which I think is going to be his sword. This huge element. I feel like this is the largest, just single element that I've seen for in a Lego set. It's huge. Um, yeah, really like there was some stuff in like the Black Pearl, uh, and putting together the sails and things like that, where there were some really large elements, but I don't think they were quite as tall as that. Of course, it's very thin, but it's still very long. I was surprised to see such a large piece. Um, but yeah, so use that. I think right at the end. I think that's bag 11. There's four instruction manuals in the build, so I think you sort of break up the build into different sections and then combine it as it goes along. But this first instruction manual is up to bag 3, I believe, which 2 and 3 look like very small bags. Really, all the bags. There's not necessarily a very large bag, from what I could see, in the set. So they definitely spread it out quite a bit, um, throughout throughout the entire build. You more different sloped elements, and I think these last few steps will be it for this bag. By the looks of it, go. It's interesting. Just sort of set it there for a while, and the first of the stickers. Probably not best to just chuck them around. Nice, nice detailing on the stickers by the look of them. I like the graphic design on them. Um, they look pretty nice, and they all seem to match well. Even though I think there's some that are going to be put on some transparent parts, which never really are the best ones. You always get sort of there's you can easily get the bubbling underneath them if you don't just put it flush with the element uh, right away. I guess these two stickers are no, they're very similar, just in the opposite direction. Seems all right. The application, few ingot parts, and then I have one slope here that I'm hoping is going to good. A bit of a concern if it hadn't been the next step. Now that looks pretty nice so far. I'm assuming this is the the torso. Um, I was just going to attach to it. Does it know it? Guess we'll see. Oh well. Um, oh no. And just rest there. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I was trying to attach it to the wrong part of the build. That solves that issue. That didn't seem right. You just rest it there. That's a bit better. All right, bag two. I think getting into a bit of the legs of well, I don't entirely know how the joints of this one work or how they're gonna be built up. So I'm excited to see that. Always, always exciting to see what they do with the joints on these larger moves. Few technic elements. Yeah, assuming that the next bag will be similar to this section, just flipped, because there's not certainly not the parts to do this again unless this is just one separate section and not something you're doing twice. Not entirely sure by the look of it so far what it is. Right. A lot of gray and light bluish gray in this section of the build, which I think is, well, I guess there's some white too, um, which is certainly interesting to get into a cool build. But I kind of like the addition of it. It's an interesting color to add to the usual black and orange uh, for the character. A recent normal look for it. A bit more pearl gold, which certainly seems like one that's pretty common so far throughout the build as one of the accent colors. Some slopes. And the last few elements of the build, I know four of the stickers are going to be put uh, onto some Nexonite shield pieces. There's one of those coming up. Not sure if that's going to be one of the stickers or not. Um, certainly, certainly could be. Snot brick. Some, another gold ingot and slope element. And bag two is quickly coming to an end. I have no idea what part of the build this is so far. I feel like it's part of the torso and maybe the start of the legs, but it's not not entirely clear yet. All right, I guess that Nexonite shield will not be one of the stickered ones, and that just goes into there. I'm pretty sure coal's gonna go into there. assuming. Yeah, I have no idea. All right, bag 3. Which is the last of this this particular instruction manual, manual number 1. Quite a bit of orange to start off this one. Medium azure, I believe, would be this, this color. I was using some medium blue recently on a build I worked on for some fantasy era dwarves, which was fun. I just put that one up on Word Brickable. But yeah, it's a nice color as well. I guess this one might be sort of the most similar color. I guess there's also a Maris blue, but I don't know if that came back for that new ship and all. All right, 2x3 tile. Oh, and I guess it is getting into the legs now. Starting to get and take a little bit more form um, from where it was last bag. It was sort of somewhat clear on what was being done. Hello. But with these ones, I guess that's the hips and the torso, and it's really not all that tall, that section. So I think most of the height of this build is going to be made up by the legs, which does look like to be the case from the box. Right, one of the rock detailed elements. There. And put this guy around. That will go in somewhere around there. There we go. I think that's that. All right, the same thing now on the other side. And that, I guess there's a few other elements, but that will be close to the end of this bag and of this first instruction manual. And by the looks of the next one, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be the legs, which certainly will give this mech quite a bit of its height. They look quite nice. I like the white accents throughout them. A couple more plates, and now the same process as the last one. I guess so far just building it certainly feels like it's going to have a good bit of articulation. And I guess with when the legs are all constructed, we'll see even more how much there really is. Be more different pins. Right. And some more of the rock sloped element pieces to detail the side of it. Which I can, if I actually build it correctly, would probably be the best way to go about it. And that is in there. All right. And a few more detailed pieces. I feel like I haven't seen this jumper plate in pearl gold before. I used it in pearl gold. It feels like a nice virgin to have, or color to have that element, and those jumpers are always very useful for building things. The somewhat more recent uh, sloped element, a little bit of detailing on side here, and a few more plates, and a few of the stickers. Sticker number 5, which there's 2 of those. It's like a nicely detailed sticker element. Ball joint. Always, always like to see that in mechs. Certainly very nice elements. Um, where's the Oh, there it is. That that fits in there and details the legs quite nicely, and the fact that you can move those around when you move around the mech is always nice. Definitely adds the ability to for some articulation. That one's gonna be an extra piece. And the last couple of steps for this bag sticker number 5, which leaves 8 more for the build. Not too many at all. And the last page of this one. All right. There's the neck so far. The body and the start of the legs. And now time to really get into the legs of it all, and then the arms, and then it's the gold detail elements. All right, the next part of the build, by the looks of it, is going to be the feet, which should do 2 of them at the same time, and I'm assuming that will be it for this particular bag. In some of these soft plug bits, which I guess are probably at the bottom of the feet so that it doesn't slip around all that much. It's definitely an element I think I've used a little bit, but not a ton. Because I guess it's not really necessarily a usable part except for these instances where you don't want your thing to go sliding all over the place. Slopes, and looks like it's going to be built up with ball joints, which always always nice to see. And a bunch of different snot type plates to brackets to get it get some detailing on the side of it, and the same thing for the other side. I guess this one will this particular bag, like a lot of these, it seems so far, will go by quite quickly. Because they're not the largest bags in the set, but they spread it out quite well. So far, I would say it's all spread out. You do one section of it, and then the next is the next bag instead of moving to the next section in the same bag. You know, some of the white accents. Actually, I don't really think it's an accent color for this particular section of the build. It's sort of a main color of of the legs, which fits the Cole minifigure. Uh, Quite nice. Um, but I like the use of it for a Cole mech. It's something different, and yeah, I like the choice of it. Right. And snot brick up there, getting closer and closer to finishing these feet quite quickly. Uh, Really, I guess since you don't have to flip through multiple pages when you're doing the steps twice, but on the same page, certainly speeds it up, saves you the time of having to flip through a bunch more pages. Same same steps process here. And there's, yes, probably two more for each foot at the toes, I would assume, for these. Yeah, exactly that. For these rubber elements to make sure the thing doesn't go sliding around. That's always a good thing. Keeps in place. I guess this week there was the reveal of a couple more Titan mechs. Kai's one, as well as Nia's one. I believe Nia and Jay's children have the ability to be made through the minifigures included, and it can be their mechs, or it might even sort of be meant to be their mechs, or I guess it's described, I think, as twin Titan mechs or something like that. But it looks really cool. For the same, I don't know what the subline's called at this point, but the three sets have been very impressive. I still need to pick up the current ones, but I'm certainly excited for that twin Titan mechs. They look they look quite nice. Wow, that that lines up very nicely. I never realized how good the intersection between these two elements could be and how flush they are when they're put together. That's very nice. Just the minimal gaps in it. That's impressive. So far, it seems like a very impressive build. I guess 12 plus, so it's the. I don't think it's quite. Um, Not quite to what they had for those monstrosity two sets, um, or whatever the subline is called. Few more sloped elements. The other slopes, because I need a couple more slopes, and I don't see them because I think they're both supposed to be detailed. Oh, I see. I was that that makes more sense. I was looking at the thing wrong. That I thought you needed two for each one, but it's just one. That solves that issue. And there are the feet. Right. Bag five. Continuing the process of doing two things at once. Um, for either leg. Looks like a lot of Technic pins or different types of elements like that to be able to extend different different part of the ankles and part of the legs. I was looking for a part that I didn't even need. That definitely wouldn't have been a very successful thing, considering that the part would be there. Smaller elements in this particular belly. It's interesting that they just had the regular, or they just have the regular coal um, for the season um, on the side of the box instead of the mech suit that's included in the set. Don't know why that's the case for the box design of the build. I do quite like the side of the Ninjago boxes for the character detailing on them. All right, same process on on this side. some more slope curves. I like how they overlap some of these slopes to give it a bit of a scaly look. Right. Now, I think it's still continuing the process of doing everything twice. Hopefully, this will be going down a wrong path and have a build that I've really got to take apart quite a few bits of. But I think it would seem like it's just going to be continuing with doing two things. That's the build at once. All right, good. All right, same thing, just on this one. The build so far has gone by pretty pretty fast for getting closer and closer to halfway through it. Some gold detailing. Same same process the on the other side. These hinged elements. Get some more articulation out of it. Certainly some of the most uh, detailing I've worked on just the foot of a mech. And I need to attach this one, I think, a different way. Hello. Because this doesn't look quite right. The other one looks all right. How I built one foot fine and the other not. Not entirely sure, but that would seem to be the case. Is that? No. Mm-mm. Thank you. All right, let's see. All right. I feel a little bit better. No, it doesn't really look Hello. Hi. Pretty good. If I can figure out what I've done wrong here, I have one foot that's perfectly fine, and one that is not quite. All right, that I think should be good. I was going at a good pace with this build, and now that totally slowed everything up a little bit. But that now looks much better. Good. That's much better. Getting that fixed up. New Technic elements. Right. I will not do that. That would certainly mess up the build a little bit. And then one leg can be quite a bit shorter than the other. I am not having a good time with not messing this thing up every other step. I seem to be doing something wrong with it. I don't know quite why. All right, that's should be a bit better now. Line those guys up, and this is probably it for bag 5. And it's on to 6 for quite a bit more of the legs. The last couple have really just been the feet and detailing that. Right, and that is that. Or I guess actually, there's a couple more parts. Got to get these uh, pins in there. All right. Oh, 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 oh. Should fix that now before I do anything else. Oh, all right. Bag 6. Biggest bag of the set. Yeah, I was just looking at these parts. I would think I'd be building a snow speeder. Um, in this particular one, I guess until I poured out that little bag because it's got some gold to it. But a whole lot of slopes and white and orange feels a lot like some of the elements you get in building a snow speeder. Right, some ball joints always nice to see those. Same process of doing everything twice. Mm, mm, couple more bricks. I like all the white and orange. It's a nice mix. Nice color scheme. Yeah, for for a mech. Should do that. The second time would probably not be a good idea to just skipping steps. Might end up with a mech with just one leg. Start doing that. So we won't go on the route. It's like there's a staple missing in these couple bags, or these couple pages of the manual. Some snot bricks and a whole lot more ball joints. So, by the looks of it, this guy's gonna have a decent bit of articulation with all those ball joints. It's always nice to see um, in these big mechs. I'm interested to see what it's like on the. I haven't really looked too much in any videos on the upcoming Lloyd's one for Legacy or the twin Titan mechs from the leak a few days ago, and I think there was some sort of dragon as well from season 4 that leaked. I've never seen an image of that one. I'm gonna be starting to add little bit of height to the build uh, by the look of it. Some slopes. A little while ago, I built the season 4 mech that they've got for Cole, and I enjoyed that one. But this one, I think, is going to make that one look a little bit pitiful with just how detailed and large this one is. Really, probably makes most of them not look that great. Um, but same process on the other side. And this snow speeder, which isn't really looking like one, is almost finished. Really, these last few bags, no, this one, I guess, particularly the last one and the one before that was easy to identify that you were building the feet. Um, but this one, except for the few gold elements that it has, um, feels like a snow speeder. But I guess it's going to become the legs of this big cool mech. All right, now I need to build 4 of this. It's a double inside of a double. They already have you doing double uh, or or 2 of each of these sections, and then yeah, they've got you doing 2 of this particular part inside of that. Already doing 2 of this particular part. That looks all right. That's one. And I think looking at the amount of elements that are left, this will take it to the end of this particular bag, and then it is bag 7, and that'll be it for the legs, and then it's on to the arms, and then adding this ginormous sword. I can't believe just how big that element is. I can't think of another part that I remember seeing that I was just shocked by just how big it is. I don't think I've seen a larger just single element. Um, Certainly some tall parts when added together, but just a huge single piece like that. Oop, not the best idea, chucking everything around. Probably won't lead to the best looking mech. Everything is chipped and broken. So probably stop throwing the pieces around. They're certainly not going to come together that way. All right, last few parts, and by the looks of it, there aren't going to be any small extra elements in this bag. That was one theme that I enjoyed, was the extra theme, some cool parts, and then I guess they did those poly bags for a little while. Um, that sort of took its place, that had a bunch of small elements throughout them. Um, but I like the sticker sheet that they came out with for extra. I don't think I've ever used them, but I know I have that sticker sheet. There's some cool city stickers throughout that one. Thought that was sort of a cool one. All right. That there. And that seems to move quite nice. Certainly quite stiff, but I guess they need to be quite quite strong to hold up the size of the thing. All right, ball joints in there, and certainly we need to add a little bit more height to it now with the bag 7 knocking over. Hello, hello. How's it going? All right, bit more gray now in the build. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yes, that's it for the white. There's a little bit of white on the head and the arms. Sweet. Blending the white in with the dark bluish gray. Now, pretty good. Yeah, it's definitely I think in comparison with a lot of Ninjago stuff, that's very playset heavy and a lot of the, at least less so some of the recent stuff. I think they've done a good job detailing even the smallest playsets. But some of sort of the older Ninjago stuff where it's very plain and not all that detailed in certain things, whether large or small sets. This set feels um, very detailed in each section of it. So that's sort of fun. It's definitely a big a big build and a big mech build, but I'm enjoying it. Certainly a little bit repetitive since you do everything twice or in some cases four or even more. Um, but uh, but yeah, um, pretty good. I haven't built the Fire Knight uh, mech, but I really I like that one. I like that one's display and how it has the base and then that cape that it has is quite impressive. I certainly need to build that one at some point. Like I think in any case I'm gonna lean towards coal builds pretty much 100% of the time. So I'd probably go with this one. Um, between the two. Um, but uh, um, but yeah, I think display wise, I think I sort of like the Kai Fire Knight one a little bit more. Um, I think I'd have to go with the most recent Black Pearl. For the longest time, the original Black Pearl was my favorite Lego set that I owned, and then that sort of got taken up by the Office Ideas set, which I just loved in all its details. In that, but when that Office set released, I always felt that um, if they ever by chance make a new Black Pearl, that one's probably going to take its spot, and I think it did. I loved that set. Um, and yeah, so I think the Black Pearl definitely comes to mind as my favorite. Last year's Django's Slave One would be up there. Um, some of the original Lord of the Rings stuff, the newer Lord of the Rings stuff, Rivendell, The Shire, Barad-dûr. I really like the Krusty Burger from last year. Um, some architecture stuff I really enjoy. Um, but yeah, I think the Black Pearl, or what is it? It's the Jack Sparrow's pirate ship, I guess is the name of the set. Is probably my favorite set that I own. Um, I don't quite know how many Ninjago sets I have. I've been collecting the theme since it started, and I sort of I kind of went off the theme for a few years um, after Skybound, and then came back to it um, sort of um, did a little bit of the Ninjago movie, so that was sort of a little bit return to the theme. And then I probably didn't really start buying a lot of sets for it again until sort of after Sons of Garmadon, and picked up few things from like Hunted and Sons of Garmadon. So I would assume um, over 100, I guess, would probably be my just quick guess, something around there. But with all the different like small and gimmicky sets and the spinners and different stuff like that, the number certainly shoots up a little bit. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed the mission mech um, quite a bit. I thought it was a fun build. I liked the minifigures in that, even though the um, of the ones I've gotten so far, the Zane version of the dragon suits weren't necessarily my favorite one, but I enjoyed the build of the mission mech. It was a very interesting build for a Ninjago mech. I guess like this one, it has very long legs, but it has sort of interesting shaped uh, legs, and it was a interesting, interesting build. All right, where is this sloped curve? It was right in front of me. Always seems to happen at the part. Um, I I think um, I don't know entirely what I have seen all the well, I guess I haven't got to watching the most recent episodes for season 4, or the episodes so far for season 4. I haven't watched those yet. But I would say um 5 and 6. Um I I quite enjoy. Um Really, I've enjoyed Dragon's Rising quite a bit. Um, I It took me a little bit to watch those seasons after Crystallized. I didn't necessarily watch a bunch of it, and then I got to Dragon's Rising, and I've really enjoyed a lot of uh, a lot of those things. So I don't entirely know what my favorite would be, but probably 5, I think, would be up there. Um, and yeah, those definitely come to mind as sort of the that comes to mind as sort of my favorite. And then I quite like the um, Tournament of Elements as well. Those sets, specifically the original wave of them, I really enjoyed a lot of the builds. I remember getting and buying a lot of those and building those ones, and really enjoyed those ones. I think those are some of my favorite play sets that they've done. I thought they did a really good job with the play sets for those ones, and I guess the remakes of those ones from the first go around of Legacy was fun as well. Few ingot pieces, and I guess these last last few parts. There's one. Need one more of these ingots. I'll keep on going and add that once I find it. I don't think it will serve too much of a purpose structurally. These modified plates give a nice offset look to the to some of these bricks. Same thing on the other side, and I guess these are the last few parts of uh, of the legs. Where's that? There it is. Seem to be losing parts. Hello. Some nice, yeah, tooth uh, tiles or plates or cheese slopes. I guess is more what these ones are. The too wide cheese slopes add some nice detail. I like how they overlap a lot of the tiles in this one. Coal. So I'm quite excited to build this one. I've had it for a while, and I don't know why it's taken me this long to build it. I guess I just had a large backlog of stuff that I had out to build, and finally got around to this one. But yeah, I built the mission mech not too long ago, so I've been building coal mechs, I guess, quite a bit recently. But yeah, I guess that's one aspect of this set that I like so much is building a big old mech for favorite character of the show. Right. And yeah, yeah. I think he's been my favorite for quite quite early on when I started the show. All right. And that's an interesting way to do it. How it slides in there. Cool. All right. That's one. I think probably Michelangelo. I had a big time with enjoying the Ninja Turtles for a while. Um, Especially when the Lego sets came out, I gonna have to pick up that recent Brickheads set. That looks like a nice one. And all right, so those can sort of be angled, and that is that. I'd love to see those the theme return fully. I really love the head molds that they had for the two sets, and there's the ingot piece I was missing. Um, and I have to push this up and get into there. But yeah, those head molds of those original uh, Ninja Turtle sets were really cool. I enjoyed the movie sets as well, even though I guess there weren't too many of those. But I really enjoyed those ones. All right, bag 8. Starting now with the arms. Doesn't look like there's anything in there now. Certainly very long legs for the size size of the body. A very small body on this guy. This will get get some of the rest of the stickers used up. Few few plates to build it up, and then getting some of the joints put in there. Certainly seems like some nice articulation on this one. The knees with some ball joints is always nice to see. Some more gold accents. I quite like the color scheme of this one. The white at the legs, then going up to the gray, and I guess there's a bit more white in the arms. The accents of gold, and then keeping up with the usual black and grays and oranges of current coal designs. Nice stuff. Oh, that's a nice little technique to get some studs on either side of the build. Just don't have to worry about doing two of them at the same time. This this section. Some large plates, and I guess probably we'll be doing two of these, maybe. By the looks a few of the parts, the amount of parts still left in this section of the build. Um, well, I think this one's might be retired now, but I'm not entirely sure. But building this one so far, this has definitely been one of my favorite ones that I've built from the theme in a while. I really enjoyed the January legacy stuff, the blacksmith shop um, and the character display. I thought that was really both really well done sets and really nice ones. The anniversary figures in them, those are quite nice as well. But yeah, I think those ones are some that come to mind that I think are really good. Um, the Fire Knight mech looks nice. Both the monstrosity sets or whatever the sub theme is, I think, are really nice looking display sets. I like the Temple Bounty, I think is the full name of it, or the name of the set. I thought that one um, was a nice, nice and well done build. Um, I yeah, so I think there's certainly quite a bit of stuff, but the legacy stuff, some of the larger mechs, the upcoming Lloyd's Titan mech, the remake of that looks to be a nice one. Sort of disappointed in sort of what the minifigures look like in that one, but seems like a seems like an all right one. But there's quite a bit of good stuff um, from from the theme, and then of course there's all the dragons and stuff, which are always sort of fun to build. I think I kind of like doing these big mechs more than I do big dragons, like the any of the source dragons and stuff like that. So yeah, I think what I definitely I think enjoyed building large mechs more than I have large dragons. But at the same time, those dragons all usually have like really cool wings that have cool detailing on them and stuff like that. And I think those particular parts can be really cool. But I think most of the time I enjoy um, the mechs over the dragons. But of course, that big source dragon and any of those ones, I enjoyed Thunderfang. I thought that was a cool one, a different looking one with just the shaping of it. I thought that one was kind of cool. Um, but yeah, I think mechs, larger mechs like this, like the upcoming, um, the twin, the Kai and Nia twin mechs that leaked a few days ago, look really nice. That one looks like a really strong set to me. The Fire Knight one, this one, I feel like there's a lot of really good mechs lately, and I think I lean more to those than I do some of the dragons. But at the same time, those large dragons are always quite impressive with their cool wings and different detailing that they tend to do on the wing elements. I did enjoy the January the Ryu set that they have for January. I quite liked that. Um, for a for a smaller dragon, I thought that one was quite impressive. I was impressed by the just level of detail and sort of the playability in that one for such a small dragon set. And then of course that big one for big green one from Monstrosity looks quite nice. All those ones I'm quite impressed. Or I guess two sets will be three in August or whenever those twin mechs come out. Um, those three sets look like really well detailed ones, and yeah. But I think so far, while building this one is definitely becoming one of my favorite Ninjago mechs that I've built. I really enjoyed the Nia Samurai X one that they had for Crystallized. I thought that one had a really cool color scheme um, for somewhat recent mechs. I guess now it's a few years old and retired, but I thought that one was really good. Impressed so far with how all these plates are aligning. Very, very well done. Yeah, I think I really like the display ability of the uh, Fire Knight's mech. I love the base that that one has, and the big cape that it has is really cool. The color scheme, but I really like. I think this one so far building it's really impressing me quite a bit. And I guess with comparing this one and um, any of the upcoming Titan mechs with Lloyd's one and the twin ones, um, and the Fire Knight one, and they don't, I guess, you can't really compare them too much or worry about the minifigures. Like, that's definitely not, doesn't feel like the necessarily the strongest point in these ones. Of course, the exclusive Kai and Cole, and then the Jay and Nia's children in and then the Kai and Nia as well. In those twin ones, that one definitely has the most minifigures, I think, of the sort of four large mechs that they have out or coming out. Um, but I think so far this one's really impressed me quite a bit, and I love the cool minifigure that it comes with. But I think the fact that the Kai one has the cool base and monster coming out of it and that cool cape, I really like that one for its display. I think it has sort of the best display ability. Whereas this one, you can just certainly, with all its articulation, get it into quite a few cool action poses, but not necessarily as not other other ones, especially with that one where it's meant to be displayed like that. But mm, getting near the end of this one. Two bags left after after this. I think after building this one, though, I'm definitely gonna have to go out and get the few other mechs because I really enjoyed this one and been impressed with its build. I have no clue where I'm gonna put it, but I'll I'll find a spot with some of my other Ninjago stuff. Um, and a decent spot for it because it's a pretty impressive one. It deserves it. I guess the footprint doesn't take up too much space. Yeah, I think this one certainly has that going for it in that it's been out long enough that it'll be I would guess the Fire Knight mech will be out still for a few more years. So yeah, I think this one definitely is probably my favorite Ninjago mech that I've put uh, put together. The arms certainly starting to come together. This this particular bag is quite quite small. It's really the just last few elements of it, and then that one will be done, and then it's on to finishing the arms with one more bag, and then 11 is the accessories and the head, I think, and then that will be that, and the Cole's Titan mech will be all put together. All right. Of the arms, put some more of the white in there now. That's stickers, and these stickers might actually be on a white backing instead of a clear, which would I think would be better. Um, the clear ones always end up getting those, or I find tend to get the bubbles behind them. So the white backing on it, which it seems like it will be, I think would be much better. This is a nice one. I like the detailing on this sticker. Now, where do I need to place it? Where are you, thingy? There you are. And the white seems to match up with the white piece pretty well, which is always nice. Oh, I should probably put it on the right part first. That would be a good idea. slopes, a 2x2 jumper, a little bit more gold accents on the circular tile. Some more slopes and G slopes. Certainly a lot of slope elements in this particular step. I have quite a few Star Wars sets. I haven't bought a ton of Star Wars sort of the last, I would say from August to now. Like I haven't gotten a bunch of the August stuff from last year or the January stuff um, from this year. But yeah, I do have a decently large collection of Lego Star Wars, both built stuff and sealed stuff. Um, but yeah, right now I don't have a ton of like I have a lot of the helmets built. Django's Slave One from last year built. The UCS Razor Crest, the A Wing, um, and a few other things that I've some of the MIDI scale stuff, some of the dioramas, as stuff that I currently have built. So I've taken apart a few things and put them away, um, just to make some room for some other builds that I've done recently. But yeah, I have a decent amount of Star Wars sets and minifigures that I need to display. I wish I could display them a little bit more, and all together and have a nice Star Wars display. My sort of biggest Star Wars display that I have is a display for Padme Amidala. I have a whole shelf for Padme stuff, Lego minifigures, sets, and some other stuff like Black Series and Funko Pops and the books and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, quite a few, uh, quite a few Star Wars stuff. Been, I probably started collecting the theme in maybe 2007 or 8. So, and then I stopped collecting Lego Star Wars for a couple years, around 2000, maybe 13 or 14, maybe even 15. I guess that was, no, probably came back really for 15 and 16 with Rogue One and Force Awakens. Um, so yeah, sort of 13 and 14, because I was really big into Lego Chima and Lego City at the time. So I didn't, except for like the advent calendars and maybe an occasional battle pack, I didn't really buy too much of Star Wars at the time. But yeah, for the last 10 years or so, I've been collecting it pretty consistently, except for I guess the last year or so. The most recent set I built, I think, was the Force Burner Snow Speeder from last August. I picked that one up on sale. Got a decent price on it, and I really enjoyed that one. It was a fun color scheme, and the I have the gingerbread AT-AT from October, I think it was last year. That I really enjoyed that one as well. Those have sort of been my favorite Star Wars stuff from the last little while. Um, just sort of the random stuff that have been my favorites. Um, I believe I think I have Zane's. I have the original um one that they had for Zane, or at least that. I don't know. It shows off quite a bit. Yeah, that's I think that's the only other one that I've bought, or at least have built. I think I do have. I have the Zane's one, the legacy one, sealed, um, and I haven't put that together. Um, but yeah, other than that's sort of the other ones that I've got for the Titan Mechs, but I'm definitely gonna want to buy the twin Titan Mechs. I really like the look of those ones for August. I think it is that those are coming out, maybe June. Um, I think that might be a case of one where it's releasing um, in different regions, different times. I'm not entirely sure if that's the case with it, but yeah, um, I need to do a quick fix on how I've done the tiles on the other arm. All right, and that'll do. Okay, I completely just put that one in the complete wrong direction. That looks a little bit better. Cool. All right. That's that's that. And now the hand. And then that will be it for the arms of the mech. And this is it for the stickers. Not too many in the set. They have some nice detailing on them, so I'm pretty happy they're there. Of course, getting those in prints would always be a nice thing, but they're seem like relatively easy stickers to apply, and yeah, they're nicely detailed ones. All right, this will be it for this, just on the ball joint there. Yeah, it's definitely. I enjoyed that first couple waves of Legacy. I think I like where they're going um, with this um, with this line, or the current um, line of Legacy sets, in terms of like remaking old suits. Um, Better than sort of the legacy designs of suits. But I guess I like the remade Tournament of Elements style ones. I thought those were nice. But yeah, a lot of those builds I thought were really quite nice. Nice vehicle builds from that. from Legacy. Um, ooh, that's a. I don't know if I've seen the Urukai sword in pearl gold. Maybe, but I can't really remember a time when I have used it. All right, now I think what's left is uh, is the head, and then some of the different accessories. Um, there it is. The Moon Knight uh, accessory piece from that CMF series in the same color that it came in that in gold. Quite enjoyed those Marvel minifigure series. I guess for Ninjago, I'm quite excited to pick up that Lloyd minifigure from the upcoming May um, minifigure series, which I don't even know what number series that is at this point. They've certainly done quite a few of them. Um, but yeah, looks like a really nice minifigure. The whole lineup um, looks like a looks like a cool series. Some cool new parts, nicely detailed minifigures. Always seems to be the case. That's certain. I guess you're gonna have to do a big one for. I don't know if 30 if that would be. 'Cause I don't really think did they do anything special for 25? Um, of course there was the party, the costumed ones with the um that's police officer a few years ago. That one was kind of cool for a special minifigure. But yeah, I remember when the list was first coming out of the the May series, and it was a Lloyd minifigure and a Bionicle minifigure, and it seemed like it would be some series going back through a bunch of different original themes. I was all excited thinking we'd get a new Chima minifigure or something like that. But I guess I'll just keep having to buy the Ninjago sets that have Raws in them, and that will be it for my Chima um, mini figures or any current ones that are similar enough. But yeah, it's a cool series. I like the chocolate dragon as kind of a cool element. There's some cool different parts in there. All right, and that is the head. And with that, I think the mech is pretty much complete. Yeah, it's just the sort of um, back blade thing that he's got set up wings or something. I really love the play sets. There were some really cool play functions. I remember just some of the really fun play functions and playing around with those ones. It was a nice. There's some cool sets. I'm trying to collect every Chima set sealed, which is is not sort of the hardest task um, in terms of how much the stuff is going to cost, because in comparisons, I don't know, trying to go out and get some older sealed Star Wars or something like that, or even Ninjago. Um, Chima's relatively inexpensive for a lot of the sealed sets. It's just finding them because um, there's I feel like there's not a ton of it out there um, for certain ones. So I've definitely been getting closer and closer and make additions to it every time I go to a convention or buy something off Bricklink or um, at a show or something like that, and I'm able to a um, add a set to the collection of Chima, but I've certainly still got a ways to go. A couple sets that I most recently added to my sealed set collection was a couple of the Lone Ranger sets, which was a theme that I think I didn't get one set from it, but I built most of it when it came out, and was a theme and sets that I quite enjoyed. So um, I got a pretty good price on a couple of them, and yeah, that's sort of one new collection of sealed sets that I've been building up a little bit. Um, and then Toy Story is sort of the other one that I'm right now trying to get everything get everything for that one. A little bit more expensive, but luckily I got a pretty good price on like the Pizza Planet truck, which is one of the more expensive ones. I do need to get the train, which I think is that and the one other one I think are sort of the more more expensive ones of the theme. Let's see. Getting near the end now. I'm gonna give him the huge sword that he's got. I watched a decent amount of baseball. Um, I actually have I've got a game to go to tomorrow, which I'm excited for. Um, a bit of basketball, quite a bit of Formula One. Um, I would say those are probably the big ones that I watch the most. Formula One and baseball, probably specifically, are sort of my two two big ones. So yeah, those are definitely I I quite like watching different sports, and I also AFL would be the the Australian Football League would definitely be my next one that I would think of as one that I watch a decent amount of when I can. Just time zone doesn't necessarily work out all the time, but yeah. All right, bunch of these blades, 6 of them. I cheer for McLaren, so whoever's whoever's driving for them is gonna be sort of my favorite. So Lando and Oscar, definitely would be up there. I think probably Oscar, but Carlos, uh, Signs, um, are definitely sort of my top ones. Of any drivers all time, though, Gilles Villeneuve um, is is my favorite and probably will be always will be. But yeah, that's, that's sort of where I'm at with it. Jill and Jacques Villeneuve, and then probably Prost are sort of my some of my favorites. All right, does point out that way? I guess it does. This is a big thing. All right, get in there. There we go. All right, okay. Gonna need to move it a little bit upwards, so it doesn't tilt backwards. That would certainly not be the best way to end the stream, is with the thing breaking. But yeah. I picked this one up sort of the end of last year. Um, I think I just ordered it from Lego. But uh, but yeah, I picked it up at the end of last year, and I've just had it in a pile of sets that were I sort of assigned to ones I'm gonna build at some point. And after 4 or 5 months or 6 months, finally I've got around to it. But it's an impressive one. That's that's for sure. All right. This huge um, sword blade. And you make it even longer. That's a that's a big part. Not too much. I been watching. I guess I started watching, and will continue to watch the new Star Wars Darth Maul uh show. I enjoyed okay, knocking everything off. Um, I enjoyed that. I've been watching Daredevil, the new season of that, and been enjoying that. Um, and That's sort of it for shows. I definitely watch a decent amount of like The Simpsons. Just will turn on an episode of that and watch that. Um, but Yeah, let me get Cole in here if I never get him in here. Maybe not. Try that. All right. I would. Um, Geez, that is a long sword. For Star Wars, I think I'm gonna go with Darth Maul, Padme, um, Amidala, especially after reading your three books that they have about her. I really enjoy those. And then Kane and Jarrus, I think, are probably my top three that I could think of right now. Ninjago, I think I'm gonna go with Cole. Um, Harumi, I think. Like I just love Sons of Garmadon and that dynamic between her and Lloyd. Um, and then maybe Wu or Zane would be up there. Um, but yeah, I think that's sort of those are the ones that I could definitely just think of right away. And that is the coolest Titan mech. This is a big thing. Um, a cool one for sure. But yeah, not not too bad. I like the minifigure too. Definitely a very different looking cool. I like the color scheme I went with, switching it up a little bit from the usual for coal and adding that white to it. Oh yeah. Um, get this guy out of the way so I don't knock him over. Um, here is the figure. A little bit of white on him, and yeah, the newer one of the newer mask elements. But yeah, cool, nice detailing on him. All right, and that is the Coles. I think it's Dragon Titan Mech is the name of it, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's that, and that's about it for today's stream. I don't know what I'm gonna build next week. Um, I definitely could break something out of the sealed sealed collection, but see. But I think the next time I go to the Lego store, I'm gonna have to pick up the Ninja Turtles brickheads. I saw them built the last time I was there, and when I saw those, I think the thing that I wasn't all too keen on when I first saw the renders was sort of the color of of Michelangelo. Michelangelo looked really um, blue to me almost, but then when I saw it built, it seemed all right, and I kind of liked the four shades of color that they had on them. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna have to pick up that one the next time I'm at the Lego store. And yeah, I don't entirely know. It might be next week sometime. Um, I definitely like Thursday or Friday are usually when I do them. But I think I probably should just start putting out in a community post saying when I'm gonna do it instead of just starting randomly um at like whenever I started this one uh at like just before 12 on a Friday. But yeah, there's certainly I uh I didn't necessarily love the colors on them when I saw the renders, but I liked them quite a bit more when I actually like saw them built. I thought they looked a lot better. But even then, I think that I do like that they did four different colors to just distinguish the builds a little bit. Like I think if they had just done them with the same color green and then just different colors for them, it would have been would have probably wouldn't have made for the most interesting build. But yeah, I it's kind of like them. But yeah, thank you for watching the stream though, and talking about Ninjago and Star Wars and being able to let me talk about Chima for a little bit. Always like to talk about Chima. Um, And yeah, thanks for watching the stream. But I think that's about it for today. So yeah, thank you very much. And I next one at some point soon, maybe next week. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't picked up. I For the last like 6 or 10 weeks of streams, I've sort of had something put aside to build. And this one was sort of the last build of my pile of stream sets that I had lying around. So I probably shouldn't have built the modular building that I built a little while ago off stream. Should have kept that one for it. But yeah, that's about it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.